Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Huncho. Just doing a quick little recap over the trade that I took today on SPY. Before anything, I'm just going to go ahead and read the morning scan for you guys. I write this morning scan every single morning on Discord. You can go ahead and check that link in my bio on my Twitter at HunchoNet. So let's go ahead and read this morning scan and then go over our entries and exits today on the play. All right, so I was mentioning that the main level that I was going to be looking at was this 592 level, which was a key pivot of ours. And also, we did get a nice clean dip into another key pivot, which is 589.59. And I was mentioning this area last night in the last YouTube video that I made, the recap vid. If you saw it, I posted it last night, and I mentioned this level. I wanted to see it happen either intraday or sometime this week because of the news. We were either gonna, was expecting either a gap up or a dip down to that level to look for an entry for longs, and we did get a nice bounce, even though it was overnight. But definitely, that level was confirmed because of the action that we got when price approached that level. And there was two scenarios that I was mentioning in the pre-market, which was if we opened above below 592, because we were at it as I was typing this. If we opened below 592, I was going to be looking for a dip into the 591 range and a possible sweep and get a nice bounce to 592 and then reject, and then that would be our put setup to that would be our setup to take puts, right? And we did open up above 592, and I was mentioning what I was going to be looking at if we opened up above 592. And I said if we open above 592, I want to look for a retest of 592 and then look for confirmation to go long. All right, because most people, they just see it open above and that just means immediately go long. Whenever price opens above a key pivot, I love and I want to see it tested. It just helps me go in with confidence without having to go in, with fear or, lack of confidence and wishing I had a better entry or whatever it might be. But that's the best way I like playing, is seeing confirmation, and that's the best way to do it is a nice break and retest, right? So yeah, I was gonna be looking for a long setup if we opened above 592 after the retest, targeting yesterday's high and then the 595 zone. And then here are the key pivots, right? I mentioned to the upside and then the downside. This is in my Discord. Post this every morning if you guys want to get in. Once again, it's a link in my bio. And I post the charts as well, and also post the VIX, how it's set up. But yeah, guys. So let's go ahead and go over the first play that we took, the only play that we took today on SPY, right? I'm just trying to play some clean setups. So what we did, we took the 595 calls. This was at 957. Okay. All right. Now we're going to talk a little bit about why we went in at this time. Okay. We're on the 5 minute, correct? All right, guys. So what did I mention if we open above 592? Okay. We opened above, and then look what happened when we got that retest. That would have been a better entry for long, right? If we would have got that retest. I went in at 957. I got in before news, right? Because there was news. I forgot what it was, but it was high impact news. There was going to be a little action on that candle, on that 10 a.m. candle. So I went in long because we were holding up this 592.50, right? I did not get long. I didn't go long when we were down here. I went long when we were like above here, and I saw price was getting bottom, and then we ended up leaking down here. And then as the news candle came in, we got that little bit of confirmation, and a lot of people stayed in this play. But then the next candle really faked a lot of people out. Now, this candle right here would have been a really nice area to add, or going long if you didn't get in already. I didn't add anything because I wanted to see I was already in my regular size. I didn't want to go in heavier than I normally go, whichever like my regular position sizing is. I didn't want to go in. I just wanted to wait for the candle to close and just wait for my setup to play out and not stop out until I get confirmation that this play is invalid. And once we saw this flush to the downside, I know a lot of people, even in my Discord, they left the trade. They were just like, oh no, we're getting rugged, and people were all flipping out. Whenever I see these flushes, guys, especially when it's at a key level or key area, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that crowd to close. I am not, getting scared. I've seen it so many times, and people get smoked. They get faked out. All the stops get hit, and then boom, sweep. So I look at it. I look at those, movements as like, look, add more, and believe in the play, or just wait for confirmation to actually stop out. If this would have actually closed under here, and the next candle would have been under this 591.80 range, then yeah, I probably would have ended up stopping out, even though I think we were down like probably like 30%, which wasn't horrible, but definitely was, you were pretty red, but it was only lasted for like a couple seconds, right? I was down a bit, but I wasn't tripping because I was above this 592 range, which I was, above here. I was bullish. The price action was not pretty at all. It's definitely could have been a little bit more patient on this, waited after 10 a.m. at least. But yeah, the price action wasn't the best. I did not like the action, but I was, looking for a bullish play as long as we stayed above this 592 area, right? And we rode these, and then the next candle we held the 592.50, and then 593.10. We finally broke above, and you guys can see these levels hit perfectly. So as we broke above, look what happened here. We retested it. So this was, originally resistance, and then boom, we hit to the upside. Then we had a key pivot, 593.75. And then look what happened. I took my first trim right here. We flushed back down to 593.10, retested it, broke above, and look what happened. We held above the key pivot, and then kept riding up, making higher highs, and then look what happened here. 594.50. Look at this. These levels, I'll show you guys right now. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. 594.50, 593.10, 593.75. All these levels are there. And look how they perform. Okay? Look, these are areas where there's entries and you can definitely scale, or areas where you exit if you're in long. Look what happened here. Key pivot. Look at that action there. Consolidation. And finally, when we broke above, retested it. Look at this perfect retest. Break, retest. You could have went in long right here. 595.31. Look at that. Look how clean this is. Could have went in long. Hit the next target. 596.27. Look at this. This was 2 days ago. 596.27. Look at this. Broke above, retest, held above it. Look at this. And then 596.95. Look what happened here. Look at this. 596.95. These are our levels, and this is how they perform, guys. Look. You could have went in puts, and boom. Could have got paid right here. Looking at the price action, definitely was toppy action up here. But yeah, guys, look, this is how they perform. I exited at like 130% on my key pivot because I was looking for that 585 range. I was waiting for a play. That's all I did. I just played my setup. I did leave a good amount of change on the table. There was definitely more room to the upside. These hit like almost 400% or like 300 some percent. So yeah, definitely, my runners would have paid, but I wasn't tripping, guys. If you guys did take them and held, props to you. You banked. But I didn't do. I was just happy and satisfied with the bag, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. I've been trying to do lately is I'm just trying to, play quality, good setups, 1 to 2 play days, and just take your bag and leave them. You don't need to hold and be money hungry to get every last bit of, change, or make sure you sell at the top. You're never gonna sell at the top, all right? You're never gonna fully, sell at the bottom, or sell at the top. So just make sure you're playing your setup and exiting at your planned entries, right? So yeah, that was pretty much it for the trade that we took today on SPY today, guys. I just want to show you guys how the levels performed. It's literally how I trade, guys. I'm not a guy where I'm like, oh yeah, SPY's gonna be at 600 tomorrow. Look, guys, anything can happen. Okay, right now, news is driving the market, so any headline that pops up can definitely screw your calls or your puts. So I just play my levels even throughout the news and the headlines. They performed pretty well, and I just put a lot of times in the charts and play with confidence off of them. That's it. And size appropriately, have good risk management, have a good stop, and we just play the range, guys. If you guys want more of these levels, you can find this in my Discord. Link in my bio once again at HunchoNet. If you guys want me to do more of these recap videos, just go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, or give me a follow wherever this is going to be posted. And yeah, guys, till the next one.